Hey, everybody, and welcome back to ECS Hangout. This is sponsored by Control Freak. That's controlfreakcompany.com. We're here every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to discuss cars, technicians, race cars, clubs, car shows, and everything in between. As long as it's the car-related topics, we're going to always go over. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Don't forget, everybody, like and subscribe. Thumbs up tonight. And as always, I am your host, Primo, and along with me, over to my left tonight is Reggie. How you doing, Reggie?
Not bad, buddy. Not bad. This is going to be an interesting topic tonight.
I know. I'm kind of excited. So, and today we're going to talk about theme cars, display cars, and we already have pretty much a full house today to talk about this stuff. So I'm really excited to get things rolling. But first, I want to go through all the introductions. So I'm going to start over with my buddy Joel here, who's been on the show before. Joel, could you introduce everybody and tell them where you're from?
My name is Joel Chappell, and I am from Milford, New Hampshire, and I run a website called NewEnglandAutoshows.com, which tries to list as many as the car shows that I can find within the New England area.
Perfect. Okay, and next up we have, and Philip Customs has already said, evening, sirs. Evening right back to you, buddy. And next I have over here, I believe that is Brett, correct?
Hey, what's going on? You doing okay?
Doing good. And if you could, please introduce yourself and tell everybody what you're about.
Hey, I'm Brett Matney. I'm from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and we do Black Pearl show boards. We do custom show boards for your vehicles, stuff like that, so you can display, all the information about your car on the board right in front of the car.
Nice. So you're going to be very welcome here tonight when it comes to our topic. I might actually start with you tonight. Next up, I believe that is that Sean, correct?
That's correct.
Awesome, Sean. Can you tell everybody, basically introduce yourself and then tell everybody what you're about?
Yeah, how you doing, everybody, man? I'm Sean, aka Smoke, man, and man, about me, I'm just a lively guy. I like to have a good time, man. Hopefully, in a little while, I get to show y'all what I like to do. It's my hobby, which is theme, and that's pretty much it, man. I'm originally from New York. Now I live down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice. All right, so we got Dustin Alfred, Carpet and Mirrors. Go clean to eat off. I don't know what that one. Got to be clean to eat off it. Okay, great, Dustin. Let us know what that meant. Michael, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. How about you? How's everybody on the panel?
I think everybody's doing good so far. They seem to be smiling. And it's been a very good weather. So, how about you introduce yourself and tell us everybody what you're about?
All right, my name is Michael. But everybody call me Batman because the theme car that I represent and my car and everything. But I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Here with me and my wife. Matter of fact, my wife, her car is she's Miss Pennywise.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Cool car.
Yeah. Okay. So normally when you come on a show like this, there's this kind of thing where there's a guy that's up here and he directs it and asks all the questions and does all. That's not what this is about. This is a show. It's a hangout. The point here is to have everybody here. We're going to talk. Obviously, we'll have a themed discussion, if you will. But the idea is I want everybody that's in the panel to give us input. Remember, you're part of it. You hear something that somebody else says, don't be afraid to jump in and just start talking and let us know things. If you share ideas, that kind of thing, that's what it's about. And obviously anything about cars, your experiences or anything that you can share with the world out there is super important and helps us with the car world that we move forward. So obviously, I don't think people understand they might not understand the idea of a themed car and display as Brett disappears. I was going to ask him. But the idea of what we'll do then is I'm going to have you, Batman, kind of explain the idea of the theme of your car and the way it improves the display and that kind of thing. Can you go over that with us?
Okay. All right. The theme of the car is that, you come up with your own concept far as there's Brett. You come up with your own concept of what you're feeling inside. This is what we say, far as in the theme world. This is what I picture in my mind on my car. You have a lot of people that actually look at our cars. You see cars out here with wraps on them and everything, but you have a lot of people that look at our cars and sit back and say you have stickers on them. And we tell everybody that's just not a sticker. because you got a lot of wraps, the vinyl and everything that's on the car. It can cost as much as a regular paint job.
Right.
You got a lot of people out here that has, the old school, not really old school, but still, the paint job where you go to the paint booth and clear coat and all that. When they put that on the cars, they look at cars with wraps on them, or like our theme cars. They kind of look down on it. But that's the thing that me and Smoke is doing. Me and Smoke are what we're doing. We're bringing life to theme cars because there's a lot of people that that really think it's a joke. But when we did the theme car show, we put it out there. It literally went viral. I mean, it was people that came from we had the car show in Marietta, Georgia, and about 2 or 3 weeks ago, at Andretti's Karting Racing. We had people that came all the way from Baltimore, Maryland. We had a car club. A car club that come from Baltimore, drove from Baltimore, Maryland. We had another guy named The Flash. He has a yellow Camaro, a yellow and black. That thing is sharp, convertible. He drove all the way from Michigan to the car show. We also had car clubs to come out of Florida. We had, I think, three to four car clubs to come out of Florida. We had some that come from Louisiana. I mean, the theme is that it's what is on whatever you want it to be, or your favorite superhero, your favorite scary character, or whatever. You just take that and you put that on your car, because you know how it is. Years ago, you like how right now you wear your favorite Batman T-shirt or whatever. Hey, instead of me wearing my favorite Batman T-shirt, what I did, I went on ahead and dressed up my whole car like that.
Right. One of my favorite ones, and I saw it. He went to Hot Import Nights. He did a couple other shows, and he had a full-on Black Panther set up on his car. It was one of the coolest. It was red and black, and he had. I mean, it looked like the whole entire car was airbrushed from stem to stern. The cool thing was on the top of it, he had a race helmet, and it looked like Black Panther's helmet. So I was like, yeah, it looked amazing. Then he even put little accents, like he had the doll characters on the end, and he had these the bass amp was covered in Black Panther and stuff like that. But everything about the car just had different stuff that it went with. So, Brett, is there anything you can add to this discussion to kind of? I mean, I was going to ask you originally, but then you disappeared, so I wanted to give you a chance to give some input.
Yeah, technical difficulty on my end. But yeah, that's the coolest thing about having a theme for your car, because when I grew up, trying to mod my truck and my car when I first started, you had to find the airbrush guy, or you had to find the pinstripe guy, or and those things now are such a lost art,
right?
That it's hard to find anymore. That vinyl has replaced.
Yeah.
It has.
And so, for vinyls really came on the scene and made it so affordable for everybody, and then you can still get, custom airbrushing done and all that stuff, but it's just, trying to find the people that are focused on that anymore. And, and now, with rap coming into everything, you can do a theme, build that theme, and then, in 6 months, if you don't like it, you just peel it off and start over, so it's not, you're not so as highly committed, to maybe what you envision your build being, over the year or whatever. So I think it's cool, and a lot of people, and to go to this show, was so crazy is, you got people dressed up in character, so it's like, they got to do, they got their car, they're dressed up, they're walking around taking pictures with kids, and
so cool.
It's all so kid focused,
right.
And it's just a beautiful thing, and to see a community come together, and strive off of it, and it was really good. So it really, prompts to Smoke and Michael for, taking a show that a lot of people kind of look down on it, the classic car kind of, it's just, but like we talked about things before, everything's got its place in the car world. And there's nothing wrong with expressing, if you're a Superman, love Superman, then, by all means, be Superman,
Right.
So,
Right.
and that's cool. I think it's just that, it's great, a great expression, for, and everybody's an artist, I guess, in their own way of doing things. So I think it's cool.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Well, Phillips Custom said whether it's paint or vinyl, custom is custom. Make it yours. Let's see. And Brendan Rogers, definitely mine is all paint, old school graphics, a Joker theme. But the guys with the vinyl definitely go all the way out. So we got one guy here left. Smoke. I got to know what's your theme, buddy?
Well, my
You're gonna
theme.
love it.
Hey, I'll give you a little sample of what my theme is. So my theme pretty much is, let's see if I can just turn this camera around.
Yeah, right. He's setting us up. That's what he's doing. He's preemptive. He's building pressure so we can get excited.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Right.
All right. So here's my theme. Yeah, I'll let y'all see who he is. He's sitting right here by me. It's my good buddy.
Nice.
Hey, Mike, you didn't see that. But yeah, this is my guy right here. Black Panther's my theme. My theme originally started from my Corvette club I used to be with, so they were called the Black Panther Corvettes, and I was pretty much the mascot of it. So I just turned it into a theme, and pretty much this is my car right here. Give you guys a think of the car.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
that's
also
nice. I like that. Bet. Yeah.
That thing's nice.
Mhm.
That's nice, man.
yeah, this is pretty
So that's a
much my
C6.
theme. Yeah, it's a C6, and pretty much what I did, I tuned it down. I'm not too much of a yellow guy, so I added a little bit of flair with black and red. It also glows in the dark at nighttime. I pretty much, I am a Black Panther fan. Love the movie. Can't wait to part 2
That's
come
right.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, they're working on it now. But yeah, as Mike, this is just like, man. Now
Yeah.
Breaking up a little bit.
get to the car because there's things like rice and chores stuff like that. So people, this is them. They're bringing it to life.
Your signal's kind of cutting out.
So that's pretty much.
Yeah. So here I'm gonna.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh,
So what I want to do is I'm going to try next.
What I'm
So
saying is,
go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was just saying that's pretty much it. This is something that symbolizes us as a person. This is our character. We put our character in into a car.
Yeah, I love it. So my next question, obviously anybody in the group here can answer this. When you come up with this thing of themes, and I think this is something that people are probably thinking that themes might be a new thing, or especially now with people able to build stuff like Batmobiles and Mad Max Fury Road and all this other stuff that they go with. Like there's so many different options, but this is something that's been out there for a very, very, very long time. I remember seeing themed cars basically in the 80s, the 90s, even into 2000s. And obviously it had days when it was, bigger, and then it was slower, but it was really to be able to, back in my early days, 80s and 90s, it was really to show off your ability to paint. So people would pop their hoods and you'd see these elaborate hood structures that were, perfect paint. And a lot of stuff that was so nice, it was just getting basically trucked in because it was just, that was their pride and joy, if you will. But today, like you were saying, there's a lot more access to things that can make your builds better and make it easier. Vinyl for one, dip, all these different things that you can do. That it's not even just paint anymore. You have all different options. So when it comes to this stuff, and especially when we kind of name it, what is some way that you can best put it to somebody to say, this is the difference between a car that you're kind of showing something off and the difference between a themed car? Does it mean that I have an outfit that matches the car, or does it mean that there can be just a car and it has to fit into that genre? How do I make that themed car look good?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, we both got.
Mike's already taking it. He's gone.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. Get at it. Get at it, Mike. Go ahead.
I do have an outfit. I do have a Batman costume in the house to match the car.
Nice.
But it's how you feel. I really say it's how you feel, you know. And man, it's a wonderful to me. I say it's a wonderful thing because you know you remember what they still do it. You know, Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cosplay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You know, people sometimes, you know, will look at it and say, "Oh man," when you see them walking around, sometimes they'll say, "Man, they're weird," but no, they're not weird. They're not weird at all. They're
fans.
a lot of people don't want.
I think more people are getting more comfortable in their skin. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just getting, you know what? I'm going to be who I am, and that's just going to be. I'm going to be happy about it, and I'm just going to go on with my life and enjoy myself. And I think that's what themes brings to it. You know, it's just like you know, back in the 80s and the 90s, there weren't Marvel movies, and you know the movies weren't like they are today. You know, and it's like, man, people relate to, you know, hey, I want to be Iron Man, you know, or you know, I want to dress my car up like, you know, the Hulk, and it's so cool to see it, you know. So it's cool.
Yeah.
There is a person that I've actually seen who has actually got like it's a really great example of an Iron Man done on a Mopar Dodge, you know, newer Dodge Charger platform that's amazingly done. And then I have a friend that I can actually transition and show it. This is my buddy John Palmer, who's actually got a Hulk themed SS Camaro.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is done like really well. I mean, you can't really see it like, you know, too much, but even the interior is done pretty well. He just had his rims painted this like the purple of the purple pants that the Hulk usually wears in the cartoons.
Okay,
nice.
So I mean, I think like, you know, being a person who like, you know, visits many car shows and I've seen like excellent examples of themed vehicles. I think I don't think there's a limit, and I don't it can be even small. You know, it doesn't have to be like extreme, and I like I can even show my own example, and unfortunately you can't even see it that well. My Jeep actually has like a kind of a Time Bandits theme to it.
Oh, nice.
Which is just very subtle. It literally only has in the Time Bandits font. It actually has Winston the Ogre's name on the side of it.
Nice.
What a good movie! What a good movie!
Man, hey Brett, who remembers Time Bandits? You know,
Right? Yeah.
Me, I love that movie.
But I mean that's the thing. It doesn't. I don't think it has to be like I don't think it has to be big. I mean, I think
it's whatever you think's cool.
It's whatever. It's whatever the person who's presenting feels they need to present, kind of thing. So you can't do too little and you can't do too much. I think
one of my favorite ones was a Dodge. I think it was a Challenger. The guy had a Challenger and another guy had a Lexus, and I want to say it was an LS 500, and both of them were white and black. And so they had stormtrooper outfits. So the cars only had like a little bit of thing, but the guy comes out in full stormtrooper apparel, like, you know, was it 501st? So, and I said that, I was like, that's kind of cheating because the car came from the factory, white and black. And I mean, all you did was buy the suit and put a little doll on your car. Like, I think that's cheating. But but that's the beauty of it is that once people think about this for a while and you go to your next car show, I think you're going to take a look at these things and go, wait a minute. There's a lot more cars out there that have these themed ideas that rest on them that, you know, people aren't really realizing that, wow, this actually goes to a lot of it. So,
you know, you were saying by being small. Just this morning, I went to a meeting this morning. As I was coming back on the highway, I seen a young lady had a little Ford Focus, and it had Baby Yoda hanging from the and she had she has her theme, and when I do, it really put a smile on my face because I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, then I have to,
like you just said.
Then I have to ask. So at Christmas, when they have the antlers and the nose on the truck, does that count, or
no?
Do I get to still have? I can still have bad attitudes towards that. I don't know. I think the Volkswagen bugs with the little eyelashes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a little torn on that. But I mean, if they're pink, I guess I could let it slide. But
Those
um,
are the late bugs.
right. No, the thing is I think that some of that stuff. I mean, I sometimes, like you were saying, those things do get a bad rap when it comes to doing a show. But if you did a Herbie love bug and then basically like a Pac-Man and a Miss Pac-Man, then I mean, why not have, whatever that thing is and do it?
Right.
Exactly.
So one thing, Brett, I know you do the show board stuff and that kind of thing. Is there something presentation wise that you could kind of like help people out and say, hey, how do I make my presentation look the best when it comes to a car? I think the better the light, the better you present your car, I think the better and more traction you get with it, right?
Yeah, and that's the key to the show board, right? Is having that, when we're laying out a show board for we call them family, we don't call them customers. So, but when we're laying out that show board, we're trying to get the most unique things about your car.
Right.
So when somebody's looking at your car and you're not standing there, then they can read up and, like, hey, I wanted to ask him about this, or I wanted to ask her about this. And, and this is where it shows, this is what this is where I went, this is what I did. And, and that's the great thing about the show board, bringing that to it. And then we've had, the show boards that we create, those are, weather. So you don't have to worry about them being in the rain or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And we've had, many times people's let us know that, hey, I had my show board and it was raining when the judges come around, and, we were all up under the building, or up under a tent. And they're like, I would sit there and watch the judge read my board.
Right.
Because he the doors were closed and the hood was down, and so it's all kinds of things like that.
And I think the other thing with those boards too is I think, and one thing that we're talking about with this is that some of these things, when it comes to themes, are very passive. So you may have, like Joel was saying, hey, I have this little thing that I did with Time Bandits. What happens if, a judge is going to go by? I think sometimes if you're doing a car show and they're being judged, they're going to maybe miss that stuff. So here, they don't have it. They walk past it. They don't know. And then you have something up there that kind of displays those things. And I think, and Smoke disappeared here, but, he's back. So I think one of the things that he has, because he has the Black Panther outfit there, I think that really brings attention to it. And, not only do you have your board, but you have your outfit, you have the whole 9 yards. Like, I think it really does bring something to the table that maybe other stuff hasn't. Does that sound right?
It's gonna catch somebody's eye. The biggest thing I ever hear when I go to a car show, after when I get to talking to people, is like, I got to the car show early. I spent an hour and a half on my car. The judges looked at my car for 10 seconds. That's the one thing you hear the most out of anything you go to. It's like the judges, they spent 10 seconds looking at my car. Right. So when you got a display, when you're trying to build a display, and you're trying to bring that attention to your car, it's a great thing, right? So you want to bring more people to your car, and if we're, everybody's honest, the last thing you're worried about is a 10-second, I call it 10-second high from winning a trophy. Right. So you're like, oh yeah, I won. And then you put it in the car and you never look at it again. Right. But not to say that everybody's like that, but for a kid to walk up to me and go, I was at a cruise in one time, and I'll never forget it, when I was in the Viper, and this kid was about 12 years old and was looking at my car. And this older guy walked up behind him, right? And he goes, well, what year Corvette is that?
Yeah.
And the kid turned around, he said, they only got 8 cylinders. So I was like, this 12-year-old kid, right. And I was like, he's my hero. I was like, ended up taking him for a ride in the car, got pictures in the car, nice. But it's those kind of things that, the theme, then the display and the board, it's going to resonate with people when they walk by your car versus it just being kind of a static, okay, I pulled up, parked it, the car is going to speak for itself. And those cars do, like the guy was talking about, the old school paint and the old school pinstriping. Mm-hmm. Vinyl don't touch stuff like that. I'm telling you, you know,
Yeah.
that's a work of art. When a guy
Well,
pulls those brushes out,
Michael wanted to say something
brushing those
too.
cars, there's nothing like that. They're just, you know.
Showboard, Brett,
Go
do you
ahead,
have
Batman.
a showboard available to show them?
So I've got Doughboy's I'm sorry, it's ECS Picture Man's car.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
That's pretty cool. Like right
Yeah.
there. I'm not gonna lie. That's
I remember when we used to go to Hot Import Nights, and I'm telling you, every third car looked like that. It was so amazing.
Oh yeah,
to have all the different bills like that. And they after you went after one after the other, there was come a point when you kind of stopped seeing those things. And it kind of is a loss to not have those around as much as I used to.
Look at the airbrushing on the hood. I mean,
Yeah.
you just can't do stuff like that. Look at that work right there. Wow.
Hey, Brett, do you have a show?
and then getting all the collectibles to go with it too, right?
No, I don't have anything with me right here.
Well, hold on. Let me get one. I'm gonna go grab my showboard so I can show you what kind of work Brett does.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things.
Oh, there you go. There's Smokes. Smoke's got his.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
love that. Look at that.
Hey, we do look closer so I get some information on it.
Yeah, we do embossing on boards too. So it's something, you know, if it's something unique to the car.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you do it, when you emboss something on the board, it's something that the person reading the board is going to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a subtle kind of, oh man, that's cool. You know, and that's what we did with Batman's board. So Batman's board, you're reading the board, and then all of a sudden you got the Batman emblem all over the board embossed on it.
Yeah,
it looks really nice.
Well, Bobby Arkwright had said Hammer Time needs a show board, and Brandon Rogers said that looks nice. So
here, the best part about the show board is this right here.
Mm-hmm.
The do not touch board.
Yeah, I think we all need a do not touch board.
On my list too, I got to order me some do not touch board.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And that's the one. And that's the one thing. That's the one thing when we started Black Pearl show boards. The one thing that I kept thinking about was, how do you make it better, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's when we came up with free edits, right? So when you're building these cars and you're doing all these changes and modding and stuff like that, then you come back to me and we've saved your file. Mm-hmm. So we go in and edit it. If you send me the change, you changed wheels, you changed interior, whatever. As long as you can send me new pictures, then we just update the board, and then we send you a brand new board for $60. So you get the same quality again. 63 gauge aluminum, 3M matte vinyl.
Yeah.
And you take the old board and hang it in the garage. So you kind of get a storyboard, of the build that you got going. And that's, when I sat down with my wife, we were trying to figure out, what's the catch to the whole thing. And she was like, well, you build a show board for your truck every other week. So surely there's something there, so you keep making changes to the truck. So that's where the free edits came from.
Right.
So the person, the family member that, what we use, they're only paying for the vinyl and the aluminum and then the shipping, and then you get a brand new board. So it works out really good. It's a real great thing, and it's cost effective. It saves people money.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's just building a great car community.
Joel, do you have your board yet?
I don't have a board, and it's funny. I've been thinking about doing it where for the Corvette where it's basically just a base model Corvette, but there's there's an interesting story behind it, kind of thing, and just like to have like a simple, it's just a 95 Corvette base model to you, but this is what it is, to me, kind of thing, and that's kind of like, I think that's like a cool thing, and I've been thinking about doing it, and I just haven't gotten to the point to do it yet, and get there.
We're all in to help you with it.
we should get one for the Jeep too.
Yeah, because you're right. Like, how many people know about Time Bandits?
Not many anymore. Let me put it like this: the best anti-theft device right now is being stick shift. So that should put you in.
Well, there it is.
Brandon Rogers says Go,
One
yeah,
of
go
the
ahead.
other things that I wanted to say, or like actually show as an example of like another like, and I hate to feel like all I'm doing is showing Jeeps, but a great theme that I've actually seen on a Jeep is actually a Skittles Jeep.
Oh, wow.
I haven't seen
Um,
that.
and
Look at that.
Oh
and-
wow!
and
No way.
this is owned by a woman. She did it. She and the person that helped her out with the all of the vinyl and everything on this.
That's
It's just absolutely like
Yeah, cool.
great.
That is cool.
And then even like underneath
Nice.
the vehicle is
I love
there's like Skittles theme. And I'll tell you what, you might sit there and think, she doesn't road this thing. No, I've seen her road this thing. I've seen this thing really dirty. So she takes it off
You're
road.
saying it does taste the rainbow.
It tastes the rainbow. Yeah, exactly. But it's a great, but that's the thing. There's no limit to the theme, is there? It can be anything from a superhero. It could be, we saw the Doughboy. It can be a food product, and right down to a candy.
I love
no
it.
limit.
It can also be just a simple name.
Here's a picture of my wife's car. This is
Yeah,
Penny.
check this out.
Oh, look at that. The It car. Yeah.
The It car. There you go.
Yeah. Looks like you got, was it air ride? And look at that.
Yep.
Wow.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And look, she even got the
Man.
nose
Yeah, of course. Man.
under the engine.
Look, Primo. Even
Yeah.
back in 1995, when I had the purple Grape Ape, we named the purple truck after Grape Ape and Biggly cartoon show. Even the mini truck.
Yep.
Right. Well, like I said, I saw a lot more of that paintwork when it came to back in the day. Like now you go to shows and a lot of the cars, like the Resident Evil cars, the It cars, basically anything that has like present day kind of iterations, if you will. It's a good way of showing it off. And a lot of those cars end up getting featured just because of the presentation that they present. Now, obviously the difference between, how far you get into it, but if we used to have David Morgan, who used to come on the show all the time, and he has the Joker Capri, and then he has the friends with the Batmobiles and that kind of thing. So when those guys get together, they're not just one car. There's like 6 cars together, and they go to things. It also opens up opportunities like Make-A-Wish foundations and visiting kids and that kind of stuff that people don't realize those opportunities are there because we kind of stick to this kind of traditional, like Fast and Furious, I think broke us, and people started saying, well, you don't want to do that. That's too flamboyant. And I think that's the real problem is that we in the car show scene pre Fast and Furious and then a little bit afterwards, we're very flamboyant. We had bright cars. We had, bright displays. We loved a lot of paint. We did,
a lot of lights.
Right.
So there's the
there you go.
there it is. It's a police special that has been graffitied by the Joker team.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So that's actually a great example.
So I'm gonna do some of these chats here real quick. So Brandon Rogers definitely need a show board for Asylum and the Mazda when it's finished. Chief Shade Tree, I do 0 themes. I just build vehicles and they are what they are. Haha. And then Dudes with Wrenches, I'm building an anti Roadrunner car using Wile E. Coyote as the main thing. I like that.
That's
That'll be cool.
that's awesome.
Here's Wile E. Coyote.
And it needs to be
Yeah.
parked next to a Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wile E.
Oh,
Coyote.
yeah.
I should have took a picture the other day. I passed I think it was a Duramax on the highway, right?
Yeah.
And the whole back end of the bed on the driver's side was crushed.
Mhm.
And he had a Wile E. Coyote sticker on it.
Right.
Are you serious?
So it looked like he ran into the truck. It was crazy.
My favorite one was when the drifters used to bust their bumpers, and when they did, they'd use little stitches so it looked like the bumper was stitched together. So it was like, those themes are huge. I mean, look at what's his name there? Ken Block. All his cars are themed cars.
Yeah.
So here's I want to go back to Smoke because Smoke's been quiet over here and he thinks I'm not going to call him out. I'm going to call him out right now. So some of the stuff there, you have the outfit, you have the vehicle, you have the whole 9 yards. What are the kind of questions that you receive when you show up to a show like that?
Well, the unique thing about my car is Mike was touching on it a little bit, and you guys also touch on it about was the paint. You know, I tell guys, you know, it's so much easier to wrap your car, saves you a lot of money. And there's some unique wraps out there. And what stands out to them, you know, I have a C6, which is a '06 C6, and the wrap on it, like I said, it illuminates at nighttime. Just ask, is that glowing? And I'll be like, yeah, because the sunlight also reflects it. Also, if it's 3M paper, and I get a lot of questions. Where did you get it from? I have the Lambo doors. How much did the Lambo doors? Who did your Lambo doors? You know, how much was the labor? I mean, I try to answer as many questions as I can. You know, give people ideas. You know, there's a lot of people have a lot of great ideas. They're just scared to bring it to life, man. You just. I always say YOLO, man. You only live once.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So Batman, same question for you. What do you think? What do you got?
And the main question I get is that how long did it take you?
Yeah.
How did it take you to do that? And the second question they always come behind that with is how much do you have in it now?
Mm-hmm.
And man, those are the main ones. Other than that,
What are the answers to those questions? Is the real question.
Right.
say it again.
What's the answers to those questions is what I want to know, because I think there's good questions.
The answer is that to the first one, how long it took me, a year and a half to get the car to where it is now. Now the price on it right now, I would say the car, I got the car, it was $32,000. I would say I'd probably dumped another 40 into it.
Mhm.
30, I'd say about another 30 or 40 into it.
Yeah, easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. y'all
Something
caught
started
me
up.
It's amazing you called me today because not too long ago, I just put the lights up under my engine and up under the bottom, the LED glow, going up under it. Because the lights I had up under there now, I had to upgrade. So I went ahead and I upgraded and I just finished it a little while ago.
Okay.
So
That's
you're constantly, when I tell you it's nonstop, you're constantly putting money into it. And with me, like Smoke know and Brett know, with me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and it can be a headache sometimes. But everything with me is double, because one thing I love about it, my wife is into the same thing that I'm into. I don't have to worry. We're not butting heads, and she going one direction, I'm in one direction. Man, my wife, she loves these cars just as much as I do. So when I got airbags on my car, which was $3,100, and the labor,
Yeah.
she said, I want bags on my car too.
Yeah.
$3,100 and $2,000 labor.
Yeah.
So when I get it done on my car, I can rest assured I gotta get it done on her car.
Batman, do me a favor. Shay Tree said, "Holy cow, what kind of car does he have?" Because he heard those prices. Can you show the car again on your video?
Yeah, I will. I sure will. Matter of fact, let me do this right here.
So while we're doing that, I'm going to pose a little question to everybody, because obviously we've all thought about themes and we kind of have to settle on one. But usually if you have a theme, you've all, at some point, I'm pretty sure, have thought about other themes that you said, look, if I did my next one, what would it be? And here's the question. And I'm going to start off with you, Reggie. If you saw a theme that you said which one you'd like to see, what would you like to see out there?
Pretty much seen them all, to be honest with you, because, I mean, come on. In 1995, when I had the purple truck, it was the Grape 8. When I had the Fiero, it was Fantasia.
Nice.
Oh, the Pontiac Fiero?
Yeah, that was back in the 90s. That was Yeah, and, I mean, just like my truck now, even though it ain't a custom vehicle, I call it the Hood. I mean...
Nice. And we'll probably come back to that later and ask everybody what's the name of their cars. But mine, I don't know if anybody can remember this, but did you ever hear about the video game Ghosts and Goblins?
Oh my! That's going back.
Yeah. So it was like a video game that was like totally unbeatable back in the day. Everybody hated it. I was actually pretty good at it when I was younger. And I always thought about doing something with the gravestones and the idea of having the smoke thing and then having like either colored smoke or something like that to just be like have this perfect little like thing, and it would have the spears in it because the guy throws basically lances and shields and he has the armored look. So I was like something like a silver car with the lances and then have smoke coming out from someplace. My friend did one where he actually has something in the back that is it's a fish bowl kind of thing, but it swirls and it has fire shooting out of it. He actually has a little thing that it shoots fire out. So I was like, something like that would be really cool to do as a car. Joel, you're up next. What do you got?
I would like to see somebody find a Morris Marina and do a Harry Potter theme on it.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I've ever seen a Harry Potter themed car.
I've yet to see one, and I think that would be like really cool.
Out there's one.
There is one?
Yeah, there's one.
Smoke says there's one. Okay.
We
don't know where where was it at though? It was in Georgia?
Oh no, it wasn't in Georgia. I do, if I'm not mistaken, he was out of Florida somewhere. And it's what we call tuners. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a Honda Accord or it was something to that effect.
Nice. All right, Batman, what do you got?
All right. This is the 2018 SS Camaro.
There you go. Look at that. You got the hood popped in there. It looks so nice. He didn't turn it. Every piece is done, you know?
That's insane in person. Insane.
So Brandon Rogers says, can't say what the next theme is, but it's being done for my 2-year-old girl. But when it's done, it should be a little different. So that'll be cool. Enzo Motoring, what's up, gang? All the way from Florida. Enzo did. I knew he was going to come in at some point, but I was like, yeah, he went all the way to Florida to message me over. I'm glad to see he'd make it out today.
But here's one for you. Now you want to see a real cool car? So we have a guy that me and Batman run with a lot, and you talked about a video game, right? So do you remember the game Crazy Taxi?
Of course.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Really?
So if you have IG, gentlemen and ladies, if you're on here, check out our SRT Dubai 392, and when you see his car, it's gonna blow your mind. And this is how he rides around every day.
What is it again?
SRT Dubai. What was it again?
392.
392. Got it. All right.
So check
I wrote
them out.
that down. Does everybody check that down when I'm done?
And
then Franchise Pharaoh says, "What's up, crew?" And then Epics. When I was SpongeBob, I even had a 4-foot tall SpongeBob for all his friends. Okay, go. Oh, and Silver City Soapworks has a car in the town with the Luke Skywalker's X-wing.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm sorry. So go ahead, Smoke. You were talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So my next build, I already talked. Mike already knows my next build is. So my next build is going to be Mortal Kombat. One side is definitely going to be Scorpio. The other side is definitely going to be Sub-Zero, and it's going to be a fatality on the hood. It's already in the works right now. And,
so if there's a fatality on the hood, it's a Mustang, right?
hey, you quote that guy about a Mustang.
Man, there's more Mustang stuff all over IG. I'm telling you.
That was good. That was good.
I'm sorry. There's a Mustang guy out there going like, dude, really? And I'm like, yeah, I had to. If I got to be the guy, I'm doing it. So
He's going to send it.
Twisted Metal. Look at that. Did you see it up top there?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Let me tell you, he rides around the city like that. Yeah, that's my man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's what he do. He rides around with those guns on those Gatling guns on the car.
Have you ever had? There was we had my friend Chris Bravo had a dune buggy. He had a Volkswagen Beetle that he extended out, made it kind of like a drag car with the big fat wheels in the back, the thin cars at front, and he had rotating rocket launchers. He had a machine gun thing sent in the center, and he's like, I want to make it so I could change the machine gun over to like a Nerf gun. So the internals of it was a Nerf gun. It would actually fire the little poofy pellets. So that way it'd just be like, as you do car shows, and it would rotate back and forth. It was the coolest thing ever. It had little lights and stuff. But let's see, in ECS, it's ECS Picture Man. There you go. I got that right now. When we started building the car, when it was in primer, I even had the Mortal Kombat logo on all the primer. Sweet. Nice. All right, Brett, you're up, man. What do you got for me? Anything good?
I think the the one thing that I don't think I've seen a lot of is the steampunk thing.
Yeah.
I've
you'll see,
I've
you'll
actually
see
seen one, and it was done really well, and that's
Yeah.
kind of
I think I know the one you're talking about
I
too.
love
yeah.
that. I love that whole theme. Like, I think if I was to do something, if I was to do something now, I wouldn't want to go that route because there's so much stuff.
Right.
Like, there's so much stuff that you can pick up for
and it's
Hobby
almost like,
Lobby.
yeah,
all
it's
those
almost
kind
like
of
you have to
things.
do it like on a either a brand new charger or something, and get like the retro gauge
Oh, yeah,
clusters
yeah.
on it and
Yeah.
everything.
I think
That would be so great.
the steampunk stuff, even though it's very good for people with original minds that can put a lot of technical, is that the word I'm saying? Because there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to the steampunk stuff, and it is very creative when you can do it. I think sometimes people get a little bit intimidated by it because of that technical spec for it. But if you think about it, the right kind of like a rusted wrap with metal pieces in it, you could wrap a car like that. And I mean, that one shot, a little bit of an outfit would go a long way to go with it.
Yeah.
But I think right now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, obviously the zombie apocalypse and any of the Resident Evil stuff right now, I think is still huge. I still see people today that carry around that kind of the Resident Evil umbrella symbol, the white cars with the red splatter on them. I'm sorry, you were saying, Batman?
Yeah, you're right. We have a guy who has
the Saul car, wasn't it, Michael?
Yeah, you have Saul Camaro, who has a lot of blood splatter all over his car. It's the Camaro, and he has Billy from the Saw movie.
Nice.
Oh man, he has the little dog Billy on the little tricycle in front of the car.
Crazy display.
And then we also have another guy who was at the car show, Slaughter 300. He has a Chrysler 300M. It's all white, but it has blood splatter on it, and he was walking around with the Jason mask on and the machete.
Nice.
Man, you know what? What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you guys some pictures and stuff from the car show and everything. Man, it was amazing.
Nice. And so was that whole show? That whole show was themed?
Yeah, the whole show was it was themed, and we allowed a couple of the custom cars to come in because there was a lot of people here in Atlanta that was saying that, hey man, we got custom cars, why can't we come? So we fixed it where if they had everything modded out custom, that they can come and join. But it was you can basically say it was a full-blown theme car show. I mean, it was amazing.
It was cool.
What was the most popular car there?
Saw Camaro.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was cool.
On the ground.
Yeah, he won our light show too. He was the car that won the light show. Yep.
And wait, can you kind of explain the car a little bit to us and what it was?
It's a 2000 and I think it's a 2000 and I think it's a 16. No. It's a 2015 Camaro, and it's a convertible. It's all white, and he has blood splatter. When I tell you, throughout the whole car, he went and got it custom done to where they had the blood splatter not going across the car, and they got Billy all over the car, and he got it going down the side of the car on the driver and passenger side, saying, "I want to play a game." Oh man, that car!
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
That was. I'm just thinking about all of it. Look, you got your brain going around it, and like you think about it, and like the more you think about it, the more you know what I mean. Like I said, with the stuff, we went to a show a while back. We have this big show, Foxborough, and it's near like Patriot Place, I think it was. So where the Patriots play, they have this big event, and they brought out the group, and there was one person dressed like Harley. There was one person dressed like Batman, good Batman outfit too, like spot on. Okay. Another guy that was Joker, Harley, Batman, obviously one of the Stormtrooper dudes, and it was like probably 7 or 8 people there that were dressed up going around. And the Harley girl had the huge hammer, which I thought was the coolest thing. She comes over. Yeah, so it's kind of like a Nerf hammer. It wouldn't hurt you if it hit you, but
I
she
seen
was
the
going
little
around bonking
baseball
them.
bat that says "Good night," but I haven't seen the hammer yet. That's pretty cool. But you know what the coolest thing about my vet though, is unique that you won't see with these headlights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those headlights are awesome.
And then my whole family's pretty themed. This is my daughter's car right here. She's
Nice.
theming her car right now.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's the
Man.
Durango.
Yep, that's the Durango. So
Yeah.
yeah, we
It's cool.
it never stops, like Mike said. It never
I
stops.
remember running around. I remember running around with a guy in 1989, I think, and he had a lowrider, right, the Mitsubishi Mighty Max, and his theme was the red dot from 7-Up. You remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Oh
You
my
remember
god.
the character, the red dot,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and that's all he had. He had a dot on the side of the truck. Now,
Yeah.
you know, but I mean, that's just, you know, even back then, people wanted, you know, they wanted that extra touch, and he had it airbrushed on the back of the tailgate.
Yep.
You know, so custom airbrushing, and you know, and it's just, you know, themes have been with us a long time, you know, and it's
Yeah.
cool. You
No,
know,
they
and
have
now,
been.
yeah, and now you see more of it because people are just, you know,
Well,
people are just want to be who they want to be, you know, and that's cool.
Well, I think it did. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think there was a time when stuff died out. Like there was a time when you went out, and I remember going to a car show one time, and all the cars were silver and very plain and drab. And not to say that they weren't boring, because people wanted to have, but I want to say it was like it wasn't cool to have fun with your car. Like it was the plain Jane stuff. It was kind of at the beginning of like social media, so I think it was still in the MySpace days, so people were, you know, people would share stuff, and whenever you posted something like crazy, people would have a time when they looked at it and gave you a negative attitude for having that. Did you guys ever run into any negative attitude that said, hey, you know, your car just doesn't work, or we don't like it because of that? Or
So wasn't there kind of like a transition phase, don't you think? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Right. So like we went from like many of the theme cars, like back in the 70s, they weren't cars, they were like the vans that had like the huge airbrushed dragon, or the half naked chick riding said dragon, or unicorn, or whatever kind of thing. And then those kind of got into this realm of people thought they were hokey, right? And so suddenly it was like, you're right, like we started, I don't know that if was it really silver, or was it people were just leaving stuff primer, you know?
Yeah, right. I don't know if I want to paint it yet.
Right. And because you know, everybody was like, we kind of went through like this phase where we didn't want to take the chance, because we didn't want to be in that realm of
you didn't want the stigma.
Before. Yeah, we didn't want the stigma of like what happened before, kind of thing. And then suddenly stuff started coming out. I think, you know, like when PPG started coming out with like radical paint colors, and then we started seeing like you know, we
started seeing the dips, and we started
and or seeing like crazy you know, clear coat projects happening, you know, kind of.
Well, take for granted, you know, take for instance the Winston with NASCAR. You remember when Jeff Gordon, you know, they pulled out the DuPont flip, you know, the flip paint car.
Right.
You know, he was going around Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the car was changing, you know, 10 million colors, you know.
Yeah, it's funny.
It was crazy, you know, and it's like you're saying that, you know, PPG was just like, man, they started really just, you know, them and then DuPont and you
DuPont,
know, mixing up the craziest pearls and you know,
but
then,
not only that, like absolutely like bright, vibrant colors too, that we'd never really seen before. And like you could even argue kind of like the city Chevrolet from Days of Thunder, right? You know, like, you know, that radical neon and green, you know, kind of pairing kind of thing, that and suddenly stuff started happening. I think after that, I think that's what I'm not sure. I would almost argue that it not really was it Fast and Furious that did it. It may have been Days of Thunder and
The thing that always got to me was the day that I started seeing things change was when Nolan's Batman came out and he was driving the Lamborghini and the guy said, "That's the Batmobile." And I remember people saying, "Oh, it's that simple." And if you guys remember, there was the guy that wore the Batman suit. There was this viral video that came out where
I remember that guy. Yeah.
And the cop was just like, "I just pulled over Batman." And he didn't. The thing was, I either think he didn't have a license plate or there was something that was up with, but he was legal and he ended up getting ticketed, I think, for speeding. And then the guy, like, they ended up rescinding because, like, well, you can't get Batman. Not only was he playing Batman, but he was going to, I don't think it was Make a Wish or something, but he was going to a hospital and he did it once a week or once a month. And then later on, he ended up buying an actual Batmobile.
Oh, that's cool.
Really? And if I remember, and he kept doing it. And there was another joke about him getting pulled over or something like that. But other than that, he kept going. But I found out that somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here, but that guy ended up dying. I forgot what happened to him.
Oh, well.
Yeah. It was a big, it's like know your viral video or something on the website. So I looked it up and I was like, wow, remember that? That was the black and it had the yellow stitching and it was just that one thing. It was like, what Batman just got out of that, Murcielago. So, and then, like I said, it just kind of blew up. And then, it was, I don't know if it was year before last or last year or something. Exactly, Steve. Someone arrested Batman. But there was a thing that I saw where they were having a Mad Max vehicle convention, and there were guys that had cars the guy took a gut of a plane, put it on top of a big body vehicle, and was driving that into it. And they had all the different cars from the first Road Warrior. People had remade stuff, the buggies and stuff like that, and it was only for people who had their Road Warrior cars. So if you had the Falcon or any of that stuff, or just some crazy monstrosity, those were the guys that they pulled in and said, check this out. And then I think it kind of went cosplay. And then I just saw a ton of just different stuff again. And I hadn't seen that. It must have been, I don't know, 2004, 2005 was the last time I really saw something where it was like, a couple of things that people had painted, but they were definitely for bigger car shows, for HIN or, World of Wheels, that kind of thing, that have somebody with showing off their paint skills. And not so much of it started to die off where I just saw, I didn't see much about it, but Batman, I did want to ask, because that was something I brought up before. Have you received any negative input for the car that you have?
I did receive some, but I had one person to send me a message, which was wild.
Yeah.
I had put out, I was just putting out there. I said, hey, I'm trying to reach that number one spot for us, because we go to car shows to compete in shows and stuff. So I said, man, I'm trying to reach that number one spot. I was doing this on IG. Mm-hmm. I said, man, I'm trying to reach this number one spot. Man, what else can I do to this car? Right. And I had somebody to actually say, throw the whole car away and do another and do another thing. And I was like,
haters gonna hate.
Now, mind you, I had just got a trophy for best in show, and I was like, really? You just actually? So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of people came back, was like, I can't believe you actually said that. He just got best in show. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that was the most blown away negative thing I ever heard.
Yeah. The thing is, and it's funny because you say that, because you win a prize and then you get this negative input. And the thing that I need to tell people who are just getting into this, and they have not just themed cars, but any kind of build you get into it, there are going to be negative people in your universe. There are always going to be people that say you can't do what you want to do. But here's my suggestion to you. Do it anyway. Yeah. Enjoy it. Find the people that, in other words, if you're a themed car guy, find guys like Batman and Smoke. Find somebody like Brett and Joel. Find somebody that you sit there and you say, hey, you know what? Those guys appreciate it what they can. It's Brett's going to make you a Bristol board thing so you can put it next to your car. Everybody's going to have their stuff that they're going to do. maybe ECS will feature your car in the magazine. Who knows what's going to happen? But the thing is if you let those few things get in your way and slow you down from doing what you need to do, then you really won't know how far you can go and how great it can be. So I want to thank everybody that came out tonight, everybody that put some comments in the comment section. It was a great show tonight. I hope somebody kind of looked at this and took it for, like thought about something and said, hey, wait a minute, I never thought about that before. And then now that I've seen it, I go, wow, I'm going to look for that next time. And you're going to realize how many real themed cars, how many of those display things are out there that you really haven't seen in the past. Yeah, man.
I'm me saying I can just give them the IG. They can follow us on it. And
go ahead, shoot it up.
Right. You can follow us on Theme Cars Are Us _2K. Theme Cars Are Us _2K.
Joel is writing away right now. You can just see him typing it full.
Yeah. Theme Cars Are Us _2K.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to thank Michael Batman for coming out, Sean Smoke, Brett Matney of Black Pearl Showboards, Joel Chappell of New England Auto Shows, as always, our master of arms, Reggie from ECS Magazine. I want to also thank our sponsor, Control Freak, controlfreakcompany.com. Always a great. Remember, we're going to have a show every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I want you to come out. I want you to talk cars, talk about something. We always got something. We're always going to have we always have a full house here. I don't know what happened. People come out. But yeah, as always, and don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, wherever ECS Magazine is, we'll be there. Reggie, you have anything closing for the night?
Well, you just pretty much said everything I was going to say, pretty much. I think you memorized everything that I was going to say. You're starting to learn me pretty good, brother.
Sorry, man. It's not my first rodeo. All right, buddy. If you're all set, we're all set. You guys, thanks for everybody coming out. Thanks for you guys that put in the chat. Thank you guys for tuned in today. Remember that if you see this video, and it's not live, remember to put something in the comments. Let us know what you liked, what you think is new ideas that you want for us. And always remember to hit those thumbs up buttons and follow us and all those nice stuff. And don't forget to share. We'll talk to you next week. It's Saturday at 8 p.m. Otherwise, you guys have a great night.
All right.
Thanks, guys.